Hey guys, welcome back to Coding Simplified. So last time we looked at how functions work in Python. We said that a function is like a machine that's written out in code. It's a little magical box that takes in some inputs and produces a certain set of outputs. And it's our job to write what's inside of this box. Go check out my last video if this is still a little bit confusing. So today we're going to take these ideas and apply them to some practical examples using CodingBat. So the website I'm using is codingbat.com/Python, and the link is in the description. And the one we're going to be looking at today is Warm-Up 1. Now inside Warm-Up 1, there's several different examples. We're not going to get through all of these, so try out some of these on your own, and make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions. So let's start with this sleep in example. So what's cool about CodingBat is it already has the function skeleton set up for you. We have our keyword for a function, which is def. We have the function name, which tells us something about what the function's supposed to do. And we have the parameters that we're going to be using as inputs to our function. It's also going to give you a little description of what you're supposed to do inside the box in order to get the correct outputs. And it even has some examples of the function being called and the outputs that it expects. When you run this, it's going to test it against the answers that it expects and see if your solution's correct. There's also a show solution button if you get stuck. So let's read the description first. So it says the parameter weekday is true if it's a weekday, and the parameter vacation is true if we're on vacation. So we have two boolean values being passed in. So weekday is true if it is a weekday, and vacation is true if we are on vacation. Okay, here's the important part though. It says we sleep in if it is not a weekday or we're on vacation. Return true if we sleep in. So this is where it says what we're supposed to return. It says we only return true if we sleep in, and we only sleep in if it's not a weekday or we're on vacation. Otherwise, we're supposed to return false. So for example, down here, false, false. That means it's not a weekday and it's not vacation. Therefore, this is still true, and we return true. Here it's false because it is a weekday. And finally here, false and true is still true because it's not a weekday, and even though we're not on vacation, we can still sleep in. So we're going to go back to our friend, the if-else statement, in order to solve this. Remember, an if-else statement splits up the code into different scenarios. It's like if you come to a fork in the road and you have to decide whether you're going to go left or right. So remember, our structure for this is if, and we have a colon, and then we do something, and then we have an else, and we have do something else. So for example, if it's sunny out and we come to a fork in the road, we might turn left. But if it's not sunny out, we might turn right instead. So when you get to this part of the code, it's like a fork in the road. We see if the condition is true or false. If the condition is true, we do the first thing. Otherwise, we do the second thing. So what's our condition in this case? Our condition is written right here. If it's not a weekday or we're on vacation, if that condition is satisfied, then we're going to return true. Otherwise, we're going to return false. So I'm going to put return true here, return false. So we can pretty much copy what it says here word for word. If not weekday. So what the not does is if weekday is true, it's going to turn it false. But if weekday is false, it's going to turn it true. It just turns whatever Boolean value is here to the opposite of what it was before. Now this condition's a little tricky because it's two parts. We have the part about it not being a weekday. So now this will return true every time it's not a weekday. What if it's a weekday and we're on vacation? We'd want that to return true as well. So there's two separate conditions. One is that it's not a weekday, and one is that we're on vacation. So we have not weekday, and then we could even say vacation here. But how do we connect them? Well, we want this to return true if it's not a weekday or we're on vacation. So we can actually use the keyword or, and Python figures it out for us. So let's take a look at what we just did. We're given some value that says whether or not it's a weekday. We're also given some value that says whether or not we're on vacation. We want this to return true if it's not a weekday or if we're on vacation, just like it said up here. Otherwise, we want it to return false. Let's see if this works. There we go. It says all correct. Now there's a couple of ways I could simplify this code. For example, as soon as anything returns from the function, no other code inside the box gets run. So if this gets returned true here, we don't ever reach this line. So we don't even really need an else here. Because if this is true, we're never going to accidentally get here. But if this isn't true, we're going to read the next line and it would return false. So this should also work. Now, a fancy way to go about this would be just to return the Boolean value of this whole statement here. Because remember, this is a condition, and conditions are either true or false. So this whole statement is either evaluated to true or false. So we could get really fancy and just say return, put parentheses around this to make sure that it's all one big statement, and we're going to return not weekday or vacation. And that also works. If I go to my show solution, it has the solution for the if-else, but it also has the short version. Now, if you don't quite understand the short version, it's okay. We're going to get more into what's called Boolean logic in a later video. The most important part that I want you to understand is how the if-else works. Okay, let's go on to the next exercise. Let's try monkey trouble. So this one says, we have two monkeys, A and B, and the parameters A smile and B smile indicate if each is smiling. We're in trouble if they're both smiling, or if neither of them is smiling. Return true if we're in trouble. So what do we have to do here? Well, we know there's going to be some kind of if-else structure. Let's say if condition, and then I'll say return true. And let's just use the else for ease of reading right now. I'll say return false. So the only thing we have to figure out is what is this condition? And it tells us right here. We're going to return true if we're in trouble, and we're in trouble if both monkeys are smiling or if neither monkey is smiling. So this is going to become a little bit more complicated, but we're just going to follow it through like we did the last one. Let's think about the case where they're both smiling first. So if you're not quite sure how you're supposed to approach this, one thing you can do is create variable names that help you through the logic of what we're actually doing. One thing that can help is if you add some comments saying what each of these cases means. So I'm going to put a comment here that says, we are in trouble. Because remember, if we're in trouble, that's when we return true. I'm going to put a comment here that says, we are not in trouble. Okay, so when are we in trouble? Well, we're in trouble if they're both smiling. So I'm even going to write something that says both smiling, or neither is smiling. Now I'm going to end up getting rid of these names eventually, but it's helping me figure out what my next step should be. So we're basically working backwards from what's written here to what we actually have to write down. So how do we know if they're both smiling? Well, let's define what both smiling means. Both smiling is going to be when A is smiling and B is smiling. And then neither is smiling is going to be when not A smile. So remember, not just takes the opposite of whatever this value is. So when A is not smiling and B is not smiling. So now these variables are defined up here, and then they're used down here, and then we return what we're supposed to return based on the inputs. Let's see if this works. Okay, so that works, but it's not the most clean code. One thing you can do is take variables that are defined over here and substitute their values in where they were used in the code. So I'm going to just take these and substitute them in, and then get rid of these variable declarations. So this should also still work. Now it's the same logic, but it's a little harder to come up with this from scratch. Now you could actually argue that the first way was more readable and maybe it was better. And that actually isn't a bad argument. It kind of depends on how much of the computer's resources is taken up by additional lines of code. And in Python's case, it isn't very much trouble at all to have more lines of code, especially with the kind of computers that we're running on nowadays. So from a Python perspective, having it be more readable might actually be better than having it be more concise like this. If you really want it to be concise, you could actually probably even get rid of all these comments, get rid of this else, move the return there. That would still work. And then if you wanted to really get fancy, just like last time, we could just return this whole thing. And that still works. But you see, the problem is, imagine you're trying to read this. Okay, you could probably decipher it after a while, and it's all in one line, so it's nice for the computer, but for the person reading it, this might be a little bit harder to decode what's going on. So this is something to keep in mind, and sometimes it's actually better to make it easier for the person to read. Okay, let's look at one last example. This one's called sum double. Now we're actually working with numbers. So given two integer values, return their sum. Unless the two values are the same, then return double their sum. So just like before, we have two cases. So we could say something like, if they are the same, then we're going to return double the sum. Else, which is when they're not the same, we're just going to return their normal sum. Okay, so this logic looks good, and this is something called pseudocode. Pseudocode shows the logic of the code, but it won't actually work as the final answer. See, if I run this, you'll have some problems here. We haven't actually defined what any of these things mean, but we could define them. We could say, if the same, well, what does that mean? Well, we could check if they're the same. So we could say something like, the same is whether or not A and B are equal. Now, if we want to check if two integers are equal, we can use the equivalence operation. So we could say A equals B. This is actually going to check whether these two values are equal to each other. So if A is equal to B, then they're the same, and then we're going to return double the sum. Well, first of all, we have to figure out what the sum is. And actually, the keyword sum is taken, so let's call it my sum. Let's call it my sum down here too. My sum is equal to A plus B, because that's what the sum of two numbers is. So we're just going to return the plain old my sum if they're not the same. But if it is the same, we're returning double the sum. Well, we could even define what double the sum is. Double the sum is my sum times, we're going to use this little star for a times in Python, times 2. And this should work. Yep, they're all correct. Now, this, I'd say, is a little bit too messy. Even though it's pretty readable, it might be unnecessarily readable. It might even be simpler if we made this a little bit more concise. So what I'm going to do is, instead of calling this the same and then putting it there, I'm actually just going to say if A is the same as B, if A equals B, and then get rid of that completely. Now, if you get confused by this, you can add comments. Sometimes that's a good solution. So I could say A equals B. The next thing we could do is simplify this. So instead of saying double the sum equals this, and then returning double the sum, we could substitute this in for double the sum, and just return this directly, and get rid of that. So this also works. And if we wanted to simplify it even further, we could get rid of this my sum thing altogether, and just substitute A plus B. We do need the parentheses because of the order of operations, and then we could just do A plus B here. We don't need parentheses there. And that also works. And then again, just like the last ones, we could even get rid of this else. We can move that one back. That works too. And this is probably going to be pretty close to as simple as we're going to get. You can actually do if statements all in one line if you really want, but that gets a little bit more confusing. So you could say something like, return A plus B times 2 if A equals B, else A plus B. And that actually all works. So how the if-else in one line works is this value here, whatever's to the left of the if, is going to be the value we use if this condition is true. Else, we're going to use this value in that spot instead. Now again, this goes back to that same problem. This is more simple, but it's a little bit less readable. It's up to you as the programmer to figure out how important it is for you to have fewer lines of code versus having your code be easily readable. And I'd say a lot of the times it's more important to have it easily readable by the user. But sometimes we can have a compromise and use comments to explain what certain lines of code are doing. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. We're going to go into some more CodingBat problems. We're going to try harder and harder examples. So work on some of them on your own time. Make sure to like the video and subscribe, and let me know what you think. See you next time.